With that in mind, political analyst Dallas Jones joins us now to talk about how this all turns out.
Good morning to you. Glad you're here.
Good morning. How are you?
Woo, there's a lot going on, and it just seems like every single week we don't know what to expect. But kind of some upsets in Wisconsin, which is what we were expecting, right? The tables are turning.
Well, I think one of the interesting things is that you saw some of the perceived front runners begin to temper down expectations. Donald Trump had a horrible week last week, just in terms of his positions around abortion and some immediate flip-flops. So it's been a tough week for him. Hillary Clinton's campaign began to temper down expectations, saying she won more diverse states and that Wisconsin was not as diverse of a state as she was used to winning in this election cycle. And so I think they saw it coming, but certainly great wins for Senator Cruz and Senator Sanders.
Meantime, we stay on the Republicans here. Ohio Governor John Kasich did not get any delegates, though, 14% of the vote, but taking away some of the steam out of the Trump train, which leads to more of this conversation about a contested convention. That would not be the end of the world. It's not the first time there's been a contested convention.
No, it wouldn't be. And I think what everyone is seeing, that it's almost certain that it will be a brokered convention for the Republicans. And so there have been calls for John Kasich to pull out the race. He still is trying to position himself as the mainstream establishment Republican that can actually win in November. And so I think it'll go to the convention floor. But it definitely shows that there's some steam being lost in the Trump train. Cruz is picking up momentum for the evangelicals and the more conservative wing of the party. And so we'll see what happens as we move forward. But there just may not be a path for victory in the delegate count for any individual person to get there. It's highly unlikely.
I want to make this summer very exciting to see what is going to be going on with it. Okay, I have to ask you about Bernie Sanders. He obviously had a big night, but does that make a difference at this point? Can he catch up?
Well, Secretary Clinton is ahead by about 700 delegates. And so the reality is, while Bernie has had a great couple of weeks, he's won the last 8 contests, but they've been in particularly relatively smaller western states. And so he gave a speech last night from Wyoming, so that shows he's going to surge ahead. But New York is coming in April 19th, and it's a different state, it's a different beast, it's diverse, but both him and Secretary Clinton can claim it as their home state. She still is registered to vote there, and Bernie Sanders was born in Brooklyn. So it's a lot on the line for both campaigns.
And do I remember correctly, there are a massive number of delegates that are available in New York?
Absolutely. New York is a game changer for Bernie and Hillary. Some couple hundred delegates at stake, and so what you're looking at is, and of course these are awarded proportionately, but what you're looking at for Clinton, it will show whether or not she can hold her liberal credentials, and for Bernie it would certainly show that he is the driving force and kind of the more progressive candidate. It's happened in New York before in their last mayoral election with their current mayor, Bill de Blasio, coming from behind to steal progressives.
Well, a lot up for grabs. Now we see why they're going to be having the debate there, and we'll be watching that one closely. Dallas Jones, good to see you as always. Thank you for coming in. All right, we'll talk to you about all this soon, I'm sure.